Hey everybody, this is Nate Ahern with Mark Ryan Salee, here to talk about Devil May Cry, a reboot to the classic series. So here we start off with a quote from David Hume talking about being caught between heaven and hell. I mean, what does this mean to viewers?
Well, David Hume, as everyone with access to Wikipedia knows, is a famed Western philosopher. He hails from the land of Scotland. You know, he had some theories on
the good and bad in people, right? And like,
he was like sort of a skeptic of our perceptions of good and bad. What makes good, what makes bad.
I gotcha. So maybe Dante is, as we're about to see, is serving time for some things that he did maybe in the past, in past Devil May Cry games?
It's
maybe?
possible, it's
maybe.
possible.
You never know. Because it certainly seems like, I mean, we start here and it's some foreign city. We've never seen this city before. Clearly not real.
Yeah, it does not look very real, but it, you know, it does look more modern than I would
right,
say
absolutely.
Devil May Cry games.
Well, that's kind of a recurring theme throughout this trailer, right? It's all very gritty. Like here we have him. I mean, that's just, look at that. It's so morose and it's like terrible. I feel so bad for him just hanging there. Poor Dante is just falling on some hard times. Guessing maybe purgatory. I don't. But then there's this technology.
Cameras.
Yeah, we hear like these voices asking him his name. He's being recorded. What does location say there? Location. Area CH8, does that mean anything to you?
That means nothing to me.
I don't know anything about that either.
You know, they do call him subject, what was it, 64432B?
64432B, which means what?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything
All
as
right.
far as I can
well, that's
tell.
good info, though. And here we flash to another version of Dante. Maybe it happened before Purgatory, maybe this is after, we don't know.
Maybe this is simultaneous.
It could be simultaneous, but he's clearly doing better. He's whooping up on some what looks to be marionette enemies, which we've seen before from Devil May Cry series.
Yeah, they're not dressed the same as they were before.
Right. Here we have his trademark guns, which everybody loves. Doing his thing, whipping it around. Looking as good as ever. And that's our first like sign of acrobatics, which you think, I guess, is going to be a heavier theme in the combat, right?
Yeah, it's certainly possible. Here you see him jumping and doing this really elongated air dash. He's had air dashes in the other games. But, you know, I don't know, maybe it's possible.
I mean, it makes it an entire alleyway here, right? Just like some kind of forward thrust, the glass is blowing out on the sides.
And later on in the trailer, you see him doing some like wall jumping and stuff too, which, you know, in Devil May Cry 2, which no one really liked, there was actually a lot more acrobatics, a lot more wall jumping and stuff like that, and it's possible that they'll be going back to that.
Now here's his, I don't know if you noticed, but he used that weapon first as a spear, and then it instantly switched into an axe, basically as soon as he wanted it to, right?
That's what it looks like.
Here's as he spears an enemy into the ground, and then removes the thing, and then uses it and whips it around as an axe. And I guess it just turns into this axe on the fly.
That's what it's looking like. So like yeah, in all the other games you have multiple weapons, and the later games you can switch between the weapons on the fly, but they are all distinct, different weapons. It's possible, and in this game, instead of having different weapons, you've just got one weapon that has multiple purposes.
Now here we have our first sign of what you said before, the simultaneous, like these two timelines are happening simultaneously. Because we see him still in purgatory or in jail or whatever. It's some kind of, it sounds like it's an electric shock here. But something happens to him and it affects him in both worlds, right? He's hurt in purgatory, he's hurt in this other reality. I don't know, what do you think? Like, do you think it's happening at the same time, or? I mean, it kind of fits in with like the being caught between heaven and hell type thing, and maybe...
It does a little bit, yeah. I mean, it's also possible that he's just dreaming while he's being tortured.
Right. We have more, and there's that tendril thing again, or the changing weapon thing, rather.
So you can see it transform from a solid blade, and then it breaks apart into multiple parts.
Right, let me go through that again. Yeah, so it's a solid blade here, then it basically like unravels almost into like a squid-looking thing. And it comes together into what looks like some sort of chainsaw. You see the serrated edge there.
It's a nice little classic whip sword,
you know. Yeah, sure. Medieval warriors use that a lot. Throws a car into enemies.
It'll be interesting to see if there's more interaction with the environment. In the other games, there was nothing like that.
That's a good point, yeah. I'd like to be able to do that, though. It looks fun, right? Hurling a car at your enemies.
That would be awesome.
And here to end things, look on his left arm, right? You're to the right side of the screen here, but what is that?
That's a British Union Jack.
Which means what, right? Like, what is it? What is the significance?
You know, maybe the game takes place in England, or perhaps it's just a little homage to the game's developer, who we find out is Ninja Theory, a British developer.
Done Heavenly Sword, doing Enslaved now, correct?
Exactly. So I mean, the game's always been done by Japanese development teams, so it'll be interesting to see how different it is.
Right, totally. And here we have just Dante ending with a very peaceful little smoke on top of a statue.
He seems quite pleased.
He seems very happy with himself.
Very different than how the trailer starts.
Heavenly, some might say.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go, your first look at the new Devil May Cry. Hope you guys liked it. This is Nate Ahern with Mark Ryan Salee. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.